Well, once again, good morning, all of you. Here are my words of encouragement, hopefully for you today. Also for me, this is something I'm processing and I need to be reminded of all the time, really daily and maybe multiple times daily. In Matthew 19:26, Jesus is talking to his disciples, and it's, the context is, how can, people be saved? How is that even possible? Who then can be saved? And Jesus responds to the disciples and says, with man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. And obviously the context is salvation, but this is much bigger because Jesus says with God all things are possible, which means he doesn't say only salvation. He says all things that God requires, God wants, all things that God wants to do, all that is possible only with and through him. And for me, often what I do when I am challenged or when God speaks to me, is the first thing I do is I look at what I am able to do, or can I do this? Is this something I'm able to do? And I often end up going, there's no way. And God's like, yes, I know, but that's the whole point. I told you that in the first place. There's no way you can do what I've called you to. Nothing is impossible to me, but with man, whatever I've called you to is impossible. And so I've come to the point where I have to realize on a regular basis, and daily at times, that everything that God wants to do is going to be impossible for me to do without him. But with him, all things are possible. There's no limitation to what God can do. No limitation to his capacities, his resources, his abilities. God is without limitation. And so when God calls, when God speaks, when God says something, it always has the power in it to be fulfilled because of his power, because of his ability, and because of his spirit. And so here is my question to you, and my question to me that I ask myself regularly is, what is it that Christ in me cannot do? Is there anything that is impossible with Christ in me? And the very clear answer is no. Through Christ in me, everything is possible. And so I want to encourage you with that today.